It was a night like any other in the city of Bhopal, where people went to bed unaware that their lives would change forever in the next few hours. The air was thick with silence, but deep within the Union Carbide pesticide plant, a catastrophe was brewing. A deadly chemical, methyl isocyanate, MIC, had begun leaking into the atmosphere. It started as an unnoticed whiff, then a sharp burning sensation in the eyes and throat. By the time people realized something was wrong, it was already too late. The gas spread rapidly, carried by the wind, invading homes, streets, and every breath taken. Those who were asleep woke up coughing violently, their eyes watering as if fire had been set inside their bodies. Mothers tried to shield their children, fathers scrambled to find a way out, but there was nowhere to run. The dense fog of poison was everywhere, choking the city in a matter of hours. Panic set in as people screamed, stumbled, and fell to the ground, unable to breathe. Some tried to escape on bicycles or rickshaws, while others ran barefoot, leaving behind everything they owned in sheer desperation. Amid this nightmare, as death silently crept through the streets, a few unsung heroes refused to let fear overpower them. These were the railway workers of Bhopal Junction, who, despite knowing the risk, made choices that would save thousands of lives. At the heart of this bravery was Ghulam Dastagir, the station master, who, upon realizing the extent of the disaster, knew he had little time to act. The first thing he did was stop all incoming trains. At that moment, a passenger train was en route to Bhopal, its passengers unaware of the invisible killer waiting ahead. Dastagir frantically signaled the train to halt, ensuring that hundreds of passengers did not step into the toxic nightmare that had engulfed the city. If that train had arrived, it would have meant certain death for many on board. But his mission was not just about stopping the incoming threat, he also had to ensure that as many people as possible could leave. Amidst the chaos, a train was stationed at Bhopal Junction, filled with passengers who had no idea what was happening. Their fates hung in the balance. Realizing this, Dastagir made a split-second decision. He signaled for the train to depart immediately. The train, which could have turned into a death trap had it remained at the station, now became a lifeline, carrying people away from the poisoned air. But the battle was far from over. The gas had already started seeping into the railway station, and workers began experiencing severe symptoms. Some collapsed, while others struggled to breathe. Still, the railway men refused to leave their posts. They guided people toward safety, warning them of the dangers, helping them board any moving train that could take them far from the gas's deadly reach. Time was slipping away, and the city was transforming into a graveyard. Bodies of men, women, and children lay motionless on the streets. Some had died clutching their loved ones, while others fell mid-run, unable to take another breath. Hospitals overflowed with the sick and dying, and doctors struggled to understand what was happening. There were no emergency protocols in place for a disaster of this scale. Meanwhile, the railway men continued their selfless mission, despite knowing they, too, were breathing in the same poisonous air. Ghulam Dastagir, who had made the critical decisions that night, inhaled a lethal dose of the gas but remained at his station, ensuring that the last possible train left the city. He knew that every second counted. His courage saved countless lives, but it came at a price. The gas left permanent damage to his health, affecting him for the rest of his life. The Bhopal Gas Tragedy remains one of the deadliest industrial disasters in history, killing over 15,000 people and leaving thousands more with lifelong health complications. The city was left scarred, families torn apart, and justice remained elusive for many. But amid the devastation, the actions of the railway men serve as a reminder that even in the darkest times, human bravery and selflessness can shine through. There are important lessons to take from this tragedy. First, industrial safety should never be compromised. The disaster could have been prevented if Union Carbide had maintained proper safety measures. Negligence cost thousands of lives, proving that corporate responsibility must always be a priority. Second, emergency preparedness is crucial. No one in Bhopal knew what to do when the gas leaked. There were no warning systems, no evacuation plans, and no immediate medical aid. If proper protocols had been in place, many lives could have been saved. Third, individual bravery can change the course of history. The railway men, especially Ghulam Dastagir, showed that courage is not about being fearless but about acting despite fear. Their decisions saved thousands, proving that even ordinary people can become heroes in extraordinary circumstances. Lastly, we must remember the victims and the survivors, ensuring that such a tragedy never happens again. The Bhopal Gas Tragedy is a haunting reminder of what happens when greed overshadows safety, when systems fail, and when people are left to fend for themselves. But it is also a story of resilience, of those who fought to save others, and of the lessons we must never forget.